Hello, my name is John Houselodden and I'm president of the Minnesota Trucking Association. We are pleased to present this training video on how to make a visit to your legislator at the Minnesota State Capitol. Now, we understand that coming to the state capitol can be a daunting experience if you don't do it regularly. Simple things like where to park, do you need coins, how do you get to offices, and what about these tunnels? It can be very complicated and it can be enough to make you not want to do it. Our goal is to make it simple and understandable, so we believe if you watch this short training video, you'll have a successful visit, you'll be able to advocate on the issues that you care about, and you'll look back on your visit to the state capitol as being very productive.
The Minnesota State Capitol grounds can be a confusing place to navigate. A few simple rules will help make getting to your appointment a lot easier. The Capitol building is easy to spot and can be accessed conveniently from Interstates 94 and 35E. Once on the grounds of the Capitol, you can navigate around the various buildings in a circle using Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, Cedar Street, and University Avenue. As seen on the map, these three streets make up a U-shaped route in which you can drive both directions. Before you leave for your appointment, be sure to print out a map for your convenience and use. Whether you're parking on the street or in a paid lot, it's a good idea to bring quarters with you. We recommend that you park in Lot AA on Aurora Avenue. That's just west of the Capitol and the state office buildings as shown here on the map. Lot AA is a metered pay lot with a self-service kiosk that accepts quarters. Simply park in an available space and make note of that space number. Approach the payment kiosk on the southeast corner and follow the on-screen instructions where you will enter the space number and insert payment. Although tempting, we do not recommend that you park in the nearby Sears parking lot. This lot is patrolled regularly, and violators of their parking policy may be cited and towed. In fact, they have been. So, exactly who has offices in the Capitol building? Well, to the victor go the spoils, at least in the Minnesota Senate. Only the majority party senators have offices in the state Capitol building, along with the governor. All Senate committee hearings take place in the Capitol building. Well, then, who has offices in the state office building? Well, just about everyone else. All of the members of the Minnesota House of Representatives and the minority party senators have offices in the state office building. All House committee hearings take place in the state office building. The state capitol grounds have an extensive tunnel system designed to help visitors and legislators avoid inclement weather and traffic. The route you will use the most connects the Capitol building to the state office building. To access the tunnel, take an elevator from either building to the level marked tunnel. Be sure to follow signs indicating which building you are heading towards once in the tunnel. Now, of course, if it's a nice day, you can simply walk outside. It's always wise to arrive about 15 minutes early to your appointment time. Take the time to know what floor your legislator is on. Each lobby of the state office building will have directories to your left and to your right. Check these for guidance on which direction you need to head to your appointment. A map and arrow should be there to assist you. Once outside the office of the legislator, check in with the assistant at the desk. This may sometimes be confusing because the assistant could be located around the corner or down the hall from the legislator they serve. And oftentimes legislative assistants support more than one legislator. Be sure to let them know who you are and who you are there to see. When greeting a legislator, it's important to give them the following information. Give your name along with your job title. Provide a brief introduction of yourself. This can include a quick summary of what you do in your company. Share your background. Let your legislator know details like how long you've been in the trucking industry, how long you've been part of the Minnesota Trucking Association, and how long you've performed your current role. Oh, and one important point, when you're addressing legislators at the state level, You call them either representative or senator. There are no members of Congress, so it would be Senator Smith or Representative Jones. You have a limited time to dialogue, so you need to be prepared to make your case clearly and effectively. It's important early on to identify the issue or bill you are there to discuss and state up front whether you support it or oppose it. Be prepared. The Minnesota Trucking Association prepares literature on its legislative agenda items. Plan to have a copy of this with you when you meet with your legislator. It's very important to just speak from your experience. Give real-life examples of how your organization is directly affected by the legislation or potential legislation being discussed. Legislators work with constituents from a wide variety of industries, not just trucking. Real-life examples will help them understand how the laws affect you directly. And remember, you're the expert in your field, not them. They're happy to be educated. This is part of the process. Disagreements are bound to surface. This is, after all, a process where competing ideas collide. The key is to be professional and respectful. State the facts as you know them, keeping emotion out of the equation. Your goal is to both make your case and make a positive impression. Strong arm tactics or aggressive attitudes do not win the day. You are not expected to know everything. If you don't know something, just say so and promise to get them the missing information. Respect the allotted time you have for your appointment. As the appointment draws to a close, be sure to thank them for their time, shake their hand, and give them a copy of your business card along with any handouts provided by the Minnesota Trucking Association. Upon leaving, it is always recommended to thank the legislative assistant for coordinating the appointment. Not all meetings happen in a legislator's office. There are times when legislators meet with constituents just outside a hearing room. In this case, go to the legislator's office at your appointed time, and the legislative assistant will direct you to the hearing room. If you have an appointment, the legislator will expect to hear from you. To do this, you will send in a note. All Senate hearings take place in the State Capitol building. All House hearings take place in the State Office building. The public is not allowed to approach the seated legislators in a hearing room. However, there are legislative staff called pages who support each committee. They are identified by a name tag and typically sit near the edge of the committee table. They will assist you in communicating with the legislator during a hearing. Find the page and hand them your note and ask them to deliver it. Here's an example of a very simple message. Senator Smith, can I see you outside of the hearing room for a brief discussion regarding a trucking issue? Signed, Sally Jones, constituent. Think of these hallway meetings as your classic elevator sales speech. You will have 2 to 5 minutes to introduce yourself, describe the issue, state your position, and ask for their support. It's always best to leave behind a brief document for their later reference along with your business card. Trust me, these meetings are over before you know it. At times, especially if they've asked you to do so, it is appropriate to pull a legislator off the floor of the House or Senate chamber. Both chambers can be found on the second floor of the State Capitol building. To pass in a note for a senator, compile your message and hand it to a sergeant located near the Senate chamber door. They'll have a name tag on. To pass a note to a representative, go to the small anteroom located next to the chamber. There you will find a page who will take your note in. The note is essentially the same as the one you would pass into committee. Senator Smith, can I see you outside of the chamber for a brief discussion regarding a trucking issue? Signed, Sally Jones, constituent. You then wait right out in front of the chamber doors for the legislator to emerge. Now, they may not know you, and you may not know them. Just watch people as they come out and don't be afraid to introduce yourself. But you can always obtain copies of legislative directories with pictures. After your appointment is complete, it is important to send a follow-up note to the legislator you met with. Invite them to your facility, include a business card, and most importantly, thank them for their time. What you want to become is an ongoing resource and reference for them. We want them to think about you whenever a trucking issue comes up.
And so there you have it. That's how to conduct a successful visit to your legislator at the Minnesota State Capitol. We trust this has made it something that you will now want to do, and we invite you to do so. If you want more information about the Minnesota Trucking Association, go to www.mntruck.org. That's mintruck.org.